Hey y'all, welcome back to City Skylines, and this is Cliffside Bay, and this is an airplane. There we go, which is about to take off on City Skylines' most dangerous airport, which is also, coincidentally, my little homage to the Grand Theft Auto International kind of airport. Oh, could it go? There we go. Beautiful, flying into the sky like a free bird. So there we go. So yeah, this is the Escobar International Airport, as you can see eventually here. There we go. Based on the Grand Theft Auto Vice City actual airport. So the street layout is exactly the same. The airport, the runway layout is the same. And the airplanes are still dangerous. Look at that one. So yeah, they're all the same. The kind of building location is exactly the same, but because I don't have the assets, or let alone the DLC, I had to use my imagination. So I guess you can tell this is the kind of the finality of this city, because yeah, in my last video, even though it's an awesome little build, it got hardly any viewers. So you can see the writing is on the wall that yeah, it's time to move on from this city. It's dragging on and people are no longer interested in it. And I got to agree with them, to be honest. It's time to move on to DLC, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to move on into our next city, playing around with the DLC for the very first time. And we're going to finish this city off for the very last time today, hopefully. So what are we going to do today? So today we're going to kind of do a little bit of terraforming around here. We're going to build something in here, kind of a big build. It's going to be a bit of a big build. Let me watch this plane land, because yeah, these are dangerous. So yeah, this is, yeah, look at that, that's crazy. You can definitely see why I kind of titled this the most dangerous kind of airport in City Skylines. As well as it being a little touch of Vice City, there you go. So yeah, that's kind of dangerous. Especially the planes that are coming in here are super dangerous. Where is it? Here, the planes that land here are super dangerous, because they almost kind of clip the trees. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, what we're going to do a build kind of over here, which means a lot of terraforming and a lot of trying to work things out. This we're just gonna leave as it is, natural. Maybe put in a couple of isolated houses if I can fit them in via the power, that kind of thing. And we're also gonna tidy up this little kind of street layout we got here. Now I do not know if it's gonna be in my best interest to just connect a road from here to here, as well as connect a road from here up to here, because it might put a lot of unwanted extra pressure on my city. And if you look at the street here, now this is super busy, but it's just about coping. As you can see, we pan along here. It's a little connection here. This is kind of super busy. So we'll move over here, and as you can see, yeah, this is super busy, but I don't really want to put any extra pressure on here. Now, I originally had a road here, so I might tidy this up, and I might kind of join the road from here all the way to kind of here and see how that goes. So yeah, I'll tell you what, let me do a little experiment just to see how bad it is. You can see I got to do a lot of changing with the subway systems and the transportation. So let me have a little look at this. So let's do a bit of sloping. There you go, that looks like that. So let me put a little experiment in here. See if I can put a little traffic circle in here. I'm going to go 440 each way, like that. Actually, let's cut it down to 400 instead. There you go. So yeah, there is so if we go onto here, the actual traffic circle they've got on the game is exactly the same size as it is. There you go. But they're using bigger roads. So we got that. So let's see if we can hook this road up into here. Let's see if the traffic gets really bad. So let me see if there's any stoplights. Yep, there's a multitude of them. Any over here? No, we're fine. Okay. So yeah, let's fast forward that and see what happens. So as you can see, this is okay. It's not too busy. It's working perfectly well. That's kind of cool. How are we doing over here? That's not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. That's leveling up. I should have deleted that. I like it as... Oh, it's a shame it's not green. Kind of like the green color. I'm going to have to redo that one. I don't want it to be that size. Let's have a little look down here. Yeah, look at how busy this is. This is crazy. This is always crazy. Yeah, I kind of welcome heavy traffic like that because it looks authentic. If I slow it down, it's kind of easier on the eye. There we go. Oh, this is super crazy busy. Now, is this crazier, busier because I got this road hooked in there? So let's give this a little look to see what happens. Okay, absolutely rammed. So let's take away this road and see what happens now. Not exactly sure if it's made any difference, but what I do know is the traffic AI in vanilla game is absolutely appalling. So can I fix this before I do anything else? Let's change this to a one-way, two-lane street. Like that, just to see what happens. Well, I gotta say that's fluctuating, so that's kind of interesting. Might leave that like that, and I'm okay with the traffic jam, I think. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna leave this cut off from here. So at least we got that. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna stay with that. Yeah, it's not really supposed to be built for perfect traffic. So yeah, let's carry on. So what we want to do is join this road up to kind of here. I'm gonna get rid of this. I need to get rid of this. I don't know. I might leave this and hook it up to this street here. So that's going to be kind of interesting. So yeah, let's do a little bit of smoothing and terraforming, that kind of thing. But I want to keep this almost on the same level. I'm imagining drawing out the road. Then I'm thinking I want the road to go directly into here. So let's move this plaza just for now. And let's do a little bit of deleting of my forestry industry. Let's see if we can draw that all the way around here. Thinking maybe I'd want to turn it around here like that. Then hook it up to here and then smooth this terrain out here somehow. Just so it doesn't look too ridiculous and slopey, that kind of thing. So let's go to a bigger road. So what road do we got here? We got this one here. Okay. Let's use the same one, which is, I don't know which one it is. Gotta be this one, right? It is that one. Okay. And that one's got a medium. Okay, let's go for this one. So yeah, we're going to carry that on. I'm going to leave the toll booth here because it might slow down traffic, which I sometimes kind of encourage. So that's going to give traffic an extra avenue to go around here instead of trying to go kind of through here or all the way through there, that kind of thing. So this is going to be super busy, but hopefully it'll be okay. The forestry industry is growing back in, so I'm going to leave that like that. I kind of like the gaps here. We got a potential to put in some paths. Look at that. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. So let's see what we got over here. So yeah, we got this strange building here, and this is forestry. Okay. We definitely got to place these service buildings somewhere else, I'm thinking. So that is okay like that. Can I put a road in here? Will it make a difference? I'm not too sure. Let's give it a try. Okay, so let's check the streets for high volumes of traffic. As you can see, that is absolutely terrible there. So I got two options. I can kind of leave it and put a footbridge here for the pedestrians, or delete this road completely. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's delete this road here. And let's see what happens now with the traffic here. Okay, it's not too bad, but it is definitely super busy. So I'm definitely going to have to maybe putting a few little connecting roads here and there. So let's do that. So that's okay. Here it looks absolutely ridiculous. So I'm thinking I might delete this connection here entirely. Get the traffic just to go down here, that kind of thing. So yeah, let's do that. There we go. That looks a lot healthier, doesn't it? All about getting the flow going. How are we looking here? It's not too bad. Not too bad. Getting worse, getting worse. Well, I'm going to rejig all this, I think. Let's look over here. Yeah, this is absolutely devastatingly busy. This is coping okay. That's not a problem. Here you can see the traffic is naturally slowed down, which will slow down the amount of traffic going in and out of here, that kind of thing. Okay, there we go. A few little tweaks off camera just to make this road more kind of manageable, that kind of thing. They put a heavy traffic ban policy around here, although this is still kind of heavy, but it's clearing up, as you can see here. And I've also put in a bunch of stop signs, as you can see here. So that gives people going up and down here kind of a clear run until they get to here, and then gives priority to these guys here. There we go. And as you can see over here, I put in one or two extra little footbridges. I don't mind about the clipping because I just want to keep these trees the same on here. Move the angle of this one here to stop here instead of here. There's a lot more people who are using this crosswalk here. Kind of done the same thing here. I've moved this path back, and then I got rid of this one completely. Just joined it up to here. And then I put a footbridge all the way across here, and this is being absolutely successfully used, and this street is absolutely clear. So that's kind of interesting. So I'm wondering if that's because I took away this traffic circle, why this is clear. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and put that back in to see if it makes a difference. I think this is not too bad. I think the pressure on this street is okay. It's okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of pleased with that. And as you can see, this is cleared up. So there you go, a few little off-camera little tweaks here and there, and you can easily solve that problem. And just look over here. Yeah, this is fine. None of this is backing up. This is super busy, but this always has been. But it's not too bad. The traffic is still flowing. Let's look over here. This is super busy as per usual, but the traffic is still flowing. And as you can see here, Fawn Square is flowing really well. And as you can see, this little stretch of road here is barely being used now. So it's kind of interesting, isn't it? So yeah, kind of happy with that. So let's move on. So let's have a little look here. So we've got normal generic industry, and then we got forestry. This is lumpy and bumpy. What I'm thinking is I might smooth this terrain out here. So let's do that. There we go. That's a little easier on the eye. Yep, kind of happy with that. So let's put in another little road network and reestablish the forestry industry, and also put in those buildings back. Maybe I'll put in some residential buildings along here. I'm not too sure. We'll see how that goes. Might slip them all down here, actually. So yeah, let's start off with let's do this basic road here. Let's flip it over to a row of trees, which is fitting for this kind of area. Okay, so that's all forestry yet again. So let's do a bit of building moving. I'm going to put the crematorium just there for now. What do we got here? We got a fire department, so we're going to put that in just there. Now, did I spot a police department? I'm not seeing one. Oh yeah, there we go. We got a police department right here, so let's move that in there. And then let's put the crematorium in the middle. Like that. So that's kind of cool. I think that area is finished off. Now, do I want to keep that hospital here? I'm not too sure. Perhaps I can keep it there. I can. Yeah, why not? We got that there, so let's put in a few more buildings just to help with the power jump. As you can see, there's no power jumping. Right, there you go, folks. I think we've just finished my final community build for the city. As you can see, you got the generic industry here right before the beginnings of the proper city. We got some forestry industry. Why is there no buildings going in there? Because I've not zoned it, okay? That makes a lot of difference. So we got that there, so that's kind of cool. What else we got? Let's go back into this view here. Got a few little buildings here and there. I've tried to make them historically tiny. Got the hospital here. We got this elder care here. We got some fancier looking buildings here, which I've kind of left. These ones are all kind of small again. So yeah, looks like that. Put a schoolhouse on the hill there because I thought that's a great setting to have a schoolhouse. And the high school is right down here next to all these stores. I've got a little gas station kind of set up like I always have. And this building's a little bit too big. Okay, let's make that smaller. But yeah, it looks like that. Gonna fill that with kind of trees, maybe do 1 or 2 paths here and there, especially for the school because it should have paths. And there we go. And that marks the boundary of the school grounds. Didn't realize we got a final building moving in there. Any more that I'm missing out on? No, I think that's the last of them. Yeah, okay, kind of cool. Just gotta wait for this building to kick in over here. There we go. That's yeah, that's definitely different to the other one. So yeah, we're gonna keep that. There you go. This is my little kind of rural hill community. It fits in really well, and people from these kind of areas here can go to school over here as well. So yeah, kind of pleased with that. Little piece of detailing, and we're done for that. So now we got all this sorted out and done. Let's concentrate on this little area here. So what we're going to do is we're going to move these buildings right down yonder, I think. Put you there. Let's put you there as well. Can I get you there? There I go. There you go. That's all the items moved. So let's see what we can do here. I'm thinking we do a bit of leveling out the terrain. So let's do that right now. There you go. That is straightened out nicely. So let's reconnect that there and there. There we go. Although that's a bit of a lumpy bump. Let me try and solve that. Bit of sloping, I think, is involved here. It doesn't look too drastic. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So there we go. So let's come up with a little thing we're going to put here. So let's go with some kind of signature boulevard kind of road. Bit of an eye-opener, that kind of thing. So I'm going to go with this one here, which is a 2-lane road with median trees. And I don't know how far back I want to go. I don't want to take up too much space because I'm not too sure how big this build is going to be. I'm going to use my normal road for measuring, which is this one here, the 2-lane road, the normal one. We're going to go, let's try 440. That looks about okay to me. Well, that's not going to encroach too much back here. So let's see what we can do next. Now I'm thinking, let's go. How many tiling zones is that? Okay, interesting. I'm thinking 440 again. So that's 2 sets of 440. This road can come up here, flip into there and into there. And then I can do a little piece of detailing here. No, I'm not too sure why there's a break in the territory there. That's kind of weird. There we go. That's better. We got that. So let's change that into this road here. There we go. It looks more like a signature road, a kind of a grand entrance to some sort of building or build. Then let's do some more measurements. So I'm going to go, I don't know, let's go 400. Actually, I'm not too sure. Let me just extend that out a little bit more, I'm thinking. And then bring this road on down here. There's a little bit of a marker of where I'm going to put things later on down the line. So yeah, I'm okay with this. Okay, so let's put in a couple of offices. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave a gap of 2 here. So let's go for a 3x3 maybe. And a gap of 2 and another 3x3 there. So I'm looking for a particular design of office. Not like the ones we got over here, as you can see there. They're 3x3s, but I'm going to see if I can get another variation. Okay, we got that one going in. Not the building I want, but I'm going to put another office building here and see what that grows into. This one's got more potential. Okay, that's exactly the kind of building I want. So I'm going to make that historical. And then I'm going to do the same over here. So let's delete this one and play a little bit of whack-a-moling and hopefully some will kick in. Let's make sure they got power so I don't lose them. All the way here temporarily, thank you. Right, there you go. I've whack-a-moled those in, so that's perfect. So let's come up with a design for here. So let's go straight. Let's go there to there is 240. Put on another 320. So there to there is 560. So let's go 560. There we go. That's perfect. Gonna bring that up like that. Same there. Now I'm just gonna have a little think. I'm thinking maybe I'll bring that a little bit closer. A gap of 3 squares like that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So let's delete that. Let's make a little box. I definitely want a commercial building of about 3 squares along here somehow. So let's have a kind of bracing road here. So 2 squares here. So I'd put a bracing road here, 2 squares here, and I'd put a bracing road there like that. Then I'm going to have a store, which is going to be a 2x3 there. I'm going to have a gap of 2 squares there. I'm going to put a bracing road here. I'm going to drag that along there. We got a gap of 2 there. I'm going to put a bracing road just there. I'm thinking we then have a 4x4 there. Like that. And then as you got a gap of 3 there, got to put a gap of 3 there. Bring this down like this. Square that off just for now. There we go. So we got this box shape here. Then we can do what we did there. So we got a gap of 2 tiling zones. Put a little road in there. Bracing road, gap of 2. Put a bracing road there. Oh, that's in the wrong place. Put a bracing road there. And we do the same over here. There you go. So that should work out, I'm hoping. And then we're going to have another kind of building here. So we're going to go for yet again a 2x3. So let's delete, let me put a bracing road here. Let's do some deleting and freeforming and reconnecting. There we go. I hope that wasn't too complicated for people following along. Let's do the same here, I guess. There you go. So we got a 2x3, we got a 4x4, and we got a 2x3. Which looks like that. Let's get rid of that little piece there. Let's tidy that up. There you go. So that's how you get equal measurements. We're going to tie this road into here somehow. Like that. There we go. I'm okay with that. With this one here, we're going to join this up into here. And we got that kind of design there. It looks kind of interesting, kind of fancy. So yeah, so what we're going to try and do is get the power to jump to these buildings here without having these power lines here. So let's put down some buildings. So as you can see over here, we got a few spare buildings. So we're going to put this one kind of here. I'm thinking just about there for now, just for now. I'm going to put a road in here. Now let's see if we can get the power connecting. There we go. That is perfect. Just what I wanted. Okay. Now I know I got that in the right location. So let's see what we got here. That is the wrong kind of building. That one we're going to keep. This one is the wrong kind of building. So I'm going to do a little bit of whack-a-moling with these two. What we got over here, going to whack-a-mole that one. But yeah, let's put a building kind of here. So let's see what we got. We got the botanical garden right here. So let's put that in. Thinking just about there. 1, 2, 1, 2. So I want to put the road there to make it all nice and even. Then we're going to put the remaining park just there. Here it is. What I want to do is face it this way here. Like that. There we go. So that's our mini botanical garden. Now let's see if we can get the power to jump from here to here. So let's see what we got left. We got a medical center over there. So let's move that. And put that kind of here, just for now. Yeah, there you go. That is perfect. So we can now successfully get rid of these power lines here. So that worked out perfectly. So yeah, let's see what we got here. That's an interesting building. This one is also interesting. We'll keep this one. We'll delete this one. So we're going to do a little bit of whack-a-moling, and I'll get back to you at the end of all this. There we go, a little bit of whack-a-moling, and this is the final design. I'm kind of pleased I got this kind of gas station, even though it's got that ugly cone on there. So yeah, I'm kind of pleased with that. Not exactly uniform, but I don't mind that. But these 4 buildings have got to be exactly the same, because it kind of goes with the build which I'm going to be putting right here. So it looks like that so far. Got all the power jumping. We got a few little buildings here that we can put in later on down the line. Yeah, not too sure what to do with them. So it's going to be kind of interesting. We got this spare little piece of park here. So I think I'm going to leave that there. I've got an idea. As you can see, we got all these little paths here. So let's put in another little park. This one should be fine. I'm going to put that in just about there, like that. And then let's follow up with the paths here. If we can get that to join in with that one there like that. And then we see if we can get that to join in like that. There we go. I'm going to change this one over. I'm going to change this one over as well. There you go. And I've got already the template for doing a fancy creative park, which is probably part of the botanical gardens. There you go. So that's kind of cool. That's worked out really sweet. Okay, so let's carry on. I'm going to delete this road here. And then I'm going to put in a path. Try and get it dead center. Extend that all the way along there. This is going to be a little marker. Change that over. There you go. So I got that little shape there. That's kind of interesting. Can you tell what I'm building yet? I'm going to put a couple of little paths along here. Just random ones. So we're stopping at 200. And then we're going to do a little bit of land raising. So let's do that right now. So there you go. We got that so far. Can you guess what it is? This is going to be the dead giveaway. So let's do this right now. There you go. That is a dead giveaway to what it's going to be. That's a little bit too big. I'm going to try and make this smaller, see if I can fit it in where I can. There you go. That looks a little bit more convincing. I'm happy with that. Let's get rid of this. And this, and this, and this, and this. There we go. So it looks like that. That's pretty cool. Carry this on just a little ways here, like that. So there to there is 160. Let's do the same here. And we got the baseball diamond, and that's my baseball park, I think. So I'm going to do a little bit more raising of the land. So there you go. That's as best as I can get that. So I'm kind of pleased with that. And then what I'll do is I'll end up doing the detailing later on, but I'll show you a few little things I'm going to do. So we're going to have this as a kind of a raised land yet again. We're going to go for this right here. So there you go. It looks like that's my final measurements. It's kind of tricky to get all these paths working out. But yeah, this is the kind of baseball diamonds. This is the entrance. These are the buildings which are part of the baseball little park. So it looks like that. It's pretty cool. And I'm going to see if I can come up with some kind of seating arrangements and put in a couple of dugouts, that kind of thing. So I'm going to do most of that in the detailing. But what I'll do is I'll show you a little hint of what I'm going to do. So for those who watched my very first series, the Blackwood series, you would know exactly how I did this. But for those that didn't, let me show you a little bit of how I did it. So this is going to mark out the kind of boundary. So I'm going to drag that all the way along there, like that. And then when I get to here, I'm going to bring it all the way around here, as best as I can, and then I'm going to delete this path here. So it's going to be like that, and then I'm going to create a little dugout. So let me just do one dugout for now. I want to put a little boundary fence here. And another one just about there. Pretty much like that. I'm going to look for a little bench. This one here. And this is where the team's going to sit. Pretty much like that. And then we're going to swap these for the kiosks, which look like newsstands. We're going to pretend this is part of the dugout, that kind of thing. There you go, that's going to look like that, and then we're going to carry on with the fence all the way along there, that kind of thing. So that's going to be the dugout, and then we're going to have some seating arrangements, which is going to consist of maybe 2 rows of picnic benches. These ones here. So this is where the people are going to sit. Try and get that as straight as I can. Then we're going to go for these big pink edges here. Kind of like that. Then we're going to put some benches here. And as you can see, they can see right over the top of the ones below them. Hopefully. That's my intention. We got to use a lot of imagination. Well, that's going to look like that. Another set of hedges. Like that. It's going to look a little bit janky because it's kind of really difficult to do that, but it's going to look like that. And then I'm going to put another set of benches behind there. And one more set of hedges. Like that. There we go. And that's going to be the seating for our baseball park. So there you go. That's going to be our miniature little baseball park. And then we're going to do something with these little extra buildings here. So maybe come up with a few extra houses, that kind of thing. We're not going to build anything here, but we got a bit of space here, and here. So we could spread out these buildings and maybe put in a few more little houses, that kind of thing. Let's see, we got a demand for stores and houses anyway, so that's okay. So let me quickly throw down a couple of cul-de-sacs. So there we go. I got the beginnings of a neighborhood here. So I still yet to find out where I want to put these buildings. And over here, we got a more complete neighborhood over here. So let's put in one of the parks. Now, I think I've got a dog park. There it is. So let's move that over here somewhere. I'm thinking of putting that right in there would be absolutely perfect. And yeah, let's see what happens with these buildings when they grow in. So there you go. That's one of the final neighborhoods. It looks like that. It's got that kind of natural ending to the edge of town kind of vibe going on there. Looks like that. Most of these are level 1s. Tried to hit them as soon as I could, make them historical, that kind of thing. Looks like that. So let's go over here and finish this one off. And as you can see, I got quite a few little buildings. So let's see if we can do something with these. So I'm going to move the skull right here, right in the center. And do the same with this school here. Let me smooth out this territory because it's a little bit lumpy and bumpy. There we go, perfect. Let's put a little road along here like that. Yep, happy with that. Yep, I'm happy with that. So let's see if we can slide these in somehow. Move you along here. Squeeze you in just there. Then we're gonna put a little road here, like that. And we're going to flip you around so you're facing this way. Okay, that'll work. And then let's see if we can slide this in. So let's put that road there. Let's see if we can slide this in over here. Like that, and then take away this road. There you go, perfect. That is still connected. So I kind of like that. And then the park, I'm thinking we put the park just about there. That should be dead center. And then we're going to create some more little neighborhoods. So let's do that right now. Okay, there you go. I managed to squeeze in as much as I can. So we got the care center, the child health center, we got the 2 schools, we got the park, we got a couple of cul-de-sacs, we got an in road and an out road. Let's make sure we got no stop signs and stop lights. Got one there, that's taken away. Everything over here is nice and clean. That's okay. Perfect. So yeah, let's fill the rest of this up with suburbia, I guess. Going to put the beginnings of a couple of paths. Right, there you go. That's going to be my second little neighborhood. Now I'm hoping we get the power connecting via these 2 buildings here. It should jump across there. We'll see what happens. It looks like that. We got quite a few little paths. So yeah, let's watch all this grow in. And then what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of whack-a-moling and get back to you at the end of all this. There we go, folks. That's the final build of my city. As you can see here, the final neighborhood. Put a couple of stores here, but yeah, it looks like that. I let a couple of these level up to be bigger buildings, but it looks like that. It's pretty cool. There you go. Absolutely beautiful little neighborhood we got going on here. I got rid of the main street that went up and down here because it just made traffic just too super busy, especially around here. So it's kind of cool. And now they can go back to using this interchange if they want to, that kind of thing. So there we go. I'm kind of pleased with that. Do we have a stoplight there? We might do. Let me have a little look on here. We do. There we go. There we go. That's going to tidy that up in no time at all. There we go. That's kind of cool. And wow, look at all these buildings. They've kind of leveled up to be kind of super ugly. So let me whack them all these. There you go. The buildings look a little bit less silly. They're not so modern looking, garish, that kind of thing. So yeah, kind of pleased with that. So there we go, folks. This is the final neighborhood in part of the final build of my city, which looks like that. I let some of the buildings level up to look kind of beautiful, really, like this one here. There you go, and that one there. But yeah, a lot of them are kind of level 1s and 2s, that kind of thing. Kind of stick with the vibe, but some of them kind of made sense to have them kind of modern, like these ones here. Stick them on the edge of the kind of cliff face, I guess, or the edge of the hill. And I can cover them up with trees and you won't even notice. Yeah, I'm kind of pleased with that. So did a little bit of extension with the paths. I got rid of the road that was going right down here because it was causing traffic to be kind of super busy. And this road is, yeah, I need to change this road over. Let's do that right now. There we go, that's a lot better. So it looks like that, kind of cool. So what did we do today? We did a few little traffic tweaks just to get rid of the kind of super busy roads. We put in this little neighborhood here, a giant traffic circle, which is a little bit too big, but it doesn't matter. Connected this road all the way along here, tidied up the forestry industry, put a few more little houses here. Redid the generic industry here, created this, what's going to be a new park as part of this kind of miniature botanical garden. Over here, we've got a few little stores. These are the main buildings of the baseball park, which I'm yet to finish, which I'll do in the detailing episode. And then we did this little neighborhood over here, a few cul-de-sacs. And this major one over here. There you go. So let's get on with some detailing, and I'll see you at the end of all this.
Suppose
Okay, there we go, folks. So yeah, my final huge detailing kind of extravaganza on my final build of the series for Cliffside Bay. So yeah, Cliffside Bay is kind of finished. I got 2 episodes to do. One is going to be where I fix the subways and the bus routes, and the other one will be the cinematic showcase where I show you around the whole kind of city. So the final thing to show you is all the detailing, and as you can see here, these 2 medical centers, a little bit beautiful, I guess. So it looks like that, kind of exotic looking. Moving over here, all the kind of little neighborhoods we built, just put in a lot of trees, that kind of thing. Anything else? Put a little park here, as you can see there. Kind of cool. Took away one of the bridges, I think, which was over kind of here. It might have been here, or it might have been over here. It might have been just here. I took away one of the footbridges. Yeah, here you go. The other little neighborhood is just trees, lots of trees. This is the botanical garden, which looks a little bit like that. There you go. It's an extension of this park here. This winding road. If you remember, this was the original design for a layout of one of my buildings on the mountains. And then I turned it into some kind of exotic park, as you can see here. Go, use your imagination. All these little pathways past these pavilions, which I want to call gazebos all the time. Go into the center here, which is a kind of seating area. You go, it looks like that. It's kind of cool. And let me see what else we got. Oh yeah, the front of the botanical garden. A pretend little pond, as you can see here. A little park there. The back is nothing to write home about. But these little made-up entrances, as you can see here. Moving backwards, we got this kind of weird design. Kind of cool. This is why I removed the path, because it was kind of too close to there. Over here, no detailing really, because it was just practically already done for me. Just trees, that kind of thing. These are the little houses that help connect the power. The hospital's got a little piece of detailing. And behind there is the elder care. Kind of minimalistic, but it's okay. And here. So yeah, the huge traffic circle, which was kind of empty, is now kind of, what would you say, an ancient historical walk through some ancient historical ruins. There you go. The other little neighborhood on the hills is not much really, just lots of trees. Like that. Did a little thing with the schools. Just gave them their own kind of boundary fence. As you can see, if I had all the time in the world, I'd make it absolutely beautiful. And the other school has got its own kind of grounds as well. Not exactly sure what this is. Maybe this is where you hang out for recess, or where you have some of your phys ed kind of ball games, that kind of thing. Not too sure. Let's move over to the pièce de résistance, if there is such a thing. So, oh yeah, while I'm here, you can see these little shopping facilities. I've kind of done a little bit of detailing. Kind of crazy path design. You see there. So this is the kind of grand mall entrance to the baseball park. You see there. Kind of cool. Where the horse statues are, this is the real entrance. A couple of beautiful little exotic kind of parks. You can see here. Up here is where you hang out and get your food and your drink and all that. Or you take in the game, and as you can see, all the paths kind of connect into the seating. So it's pretty cool. They wind all the way around here. And they go around the back. You got like a couple of entrances to get to these bleachers, which like that. And yeah, it's a little bit janky because it's kind of impossible to build on hills unless you got a mod. And is there a mod that can make all these smooth, especially on the hills? I'm not too sure. Yeah, there you go. That's the baseball diamond. That's home base, first, second, and all that. The pitcher's mound, which I did kind of raise up. You can just about see it. Oh, there you go. Maybe this is the ball pen. I'm not too sure. But yeah, and I kind of framed the baseball park with these trees like that. And at the back here, you can see I got this kind of crazy looking kind of park, and where you can hang out. There's lots of places to eat and that kind of thing. Kind of a weird design here. Somewhere you can actually sit down and watch baseball in the actual park, which is kind of cool. There we go. That was my final kind of detailing session. My final big build of what is going to be my almost final episode of Cliffside Bay. So yeah, I'll leave you this view because it's kind of spectacular and I kind of wish I was there in real life. So in the meantime, folks, sincerely take care of each other. Have a real nice day, and I will see y'all.
Wish that you were I'm longing for true love. I'm meant to be strong in this broken atmosphere. I just wish that you were I'm longing for true love. I'm ready.